I want you to imagine that you are sitting in front of a computer. It is an old computer. It is beige, bulky, and loud. It was built in 1776. For a long time, this computer was a miracle. It ran the most advanced operating system the world had ever seen. It processed freedom faster than any monarchy. It calculated innovation better than any empire. It was robust. It was revolutionary. But lately the screen is flickering. The mouse is freezing. You try to open a file called Justice and it buffers for 20 years. You try to run a program called Unity and you get a fatal error message. The fan is screaming. The hard drive is grinding. And you are sitting there banging on the keyboard screaming, "Why won't it work? It used to work." You are frustrated. You are scared. You feel like the machine is about to catch fire. But what if I told you that the machine isn't broken? What if I told you that what you are feeling, the chaos, the division, the anxiety, is not the end of the computer? It is the system update. We are currently living through the painful, messy, and terrifying transition from the American experiment version 1 to version 2. The old operating system, built for farmers with muskets and quill pens, is incompatible with the new hardware of artificial intelligence, nuclear weapons, and the internet. And the blue screen of death we are looking at right now, that is just the reboot. If you are ready to stop panicking about the crash and start understanding the upgrade, if you are ready to see the code behind the chaos, please hit that subscribe button right now. We are about to look at the future of democracy, and we need every developer we can get. To understand version 2, we have to respect version 1. The founding fathers were not just politicians, they were system architects. They wrote a source code, the Constitution, that was designed to solve a specific problem, tyranny ***. They were terrified of a king. They were terrified of power concentrating in one place. So they built a machine designed to be inefficient. This is the part we forget. The gridlock in Washington, that is not a bug, it is a feature. Version 1 was built with checks and balances. It was built to slow things down. It was built to force compromise. It assumed that information moved at the speed of a horse. It assumed that to change a law, you had to ride to Philadelphia, sit in a room, argue for weeks, and ride home. The latency was the safety mechanism. But then we invented the fiber optic cable. Now information moves at the speed of light. A tweet from a politician reaches 100 million people in 1 second. A stock market crash happens in a millisecond. A viral conspiracy theory infects the national brain before the truth can even put its shoes on. We are trying to run a fiber optic society on a horse and buggy operating system. And the motherboard is melting. This brings us to the first major patch of version 2, the death of geography ***. In version 1, your reality was defined by where you lived. Your neighbors were your community. Your local newspaper was your truth. You voted for the person who lived down the road. In version 2, geography is irrelevant. We have migrated to the cloud. You might live in Ohio, but your community is a Discord server of people who love vintage watches. You might live in New York, but your tribe is a Facebook group of political activists spread across the country. We have become cloud citizens. This sounds liberating, but it has a dark side. It means we have stopped caring about the physical space we inhabit. We ignore the pothole on our street because we are too busy fighting a culture war in the comment section. Version 2 is a post-spatial democracy, and we don't know how to govern it yet. How do you govern a nation where people live in the same zip code but inhabit completely different realities? This leads to the second major update, the crisis of the gatekeepers ***. In version 1, we had editors, we had publishers, we had experts. They were the firewall. They decided what was true and what was noise. They weren't perfect. They were often biased and exclusionary, but they kept the virus count low. In version 2, the firewall is gone. Everyone is a publisher. Everyone is a broadcaster. This is the democratization of truth. And it turns out when you democratize truth, you get chaos. We are now drowning in the **attention economy, ***. In the new operating system, the currency is not gold, and it is not the dollar. The currency is your eyeballs. The algorithms that run our lives are optimized for one thing: engagement. And as we discussed before, the easiest way to get engagement is enragement. The system is programmed to divide us. If the Constitution was designed to form a more perfect union, the algorithm is designed to form a more perfect division. We are running two conflicting programs at the same time. The laws say unite, but the technology says fight. And the technology is winning. So what does version 2 actually look like when it settles? We are seeing the rise of algorithmic governance, ***. This is the scary part. In version 1, humans made decisions. Judges, senators, bureaucrats. They were slow and they could be bribed, but they were human. They had empathy. In version 2, we are outsourcing the decisions to the black box. We already do this. Who decides if you get a loan? An algorithm. Who decides if you get an interview for a job? An algorithm. Who decides which news you see? An algorithm. Who decides how long you stay in jail? Increasingly, an algorithm that predicts recidivism. We are building a society where the rules are enforced by code, not by cops. This is efficient. It removes human bias, but it adds machine bias. And you cannot argue with a machine. You cannot plead your case to a line of Python code. The citizen is becoming the user, and the user has fewer rights than the admin. But it's not all dystopian. There is a positive side to version 2. Think about crowdsourced solutions ***. In version 1, if you wanted to fix a problem, you had to wait for the government. In version 2, we have the tools to self-organize instantly. We saw this with things like the GameStop stock surge. We saw it with open-source software. We saw it with disaster relief, where Twitter users coordinated rescue boats faster than the Coast Guard. Version 2 gives us the power of the hive mind ***. If we can figure out how to harness it, we can solve problems that baffled the founding fathers. We can cure diseases by sharing data globally. We can fix climate change by optimizing energy grids with AI. The potential for superdemocracy, where everyone participates directly, not just every 4 years, but every day, is right there. But we have to survive the installation process. And right now, the installation is stuck at 99%. We are in the interregnum ***. The Italian philosopher Antonio Gramsci wrote, "The old world is dying, and the new world struggles to be born. Now is the time of monsters." We are seeing the monsters. We are seeing the rise of populism, the rise of conspiracy theories, the rise of mental health crises. These are the symptoms of a society that has lost its story. Version 1 had a clear story, the land of opportunity, the city on a hill. Version 2 doesn't have a story yet. We haven't written it. Is the story the techno-utopia? Is the story the Hunger Games? Is the story the surveillance state? The screen is blank, the cursor is blinking, and we are terrified because we don't know what to type. But here is the secret. The computer is not writing the code. We are. The biggest lie of the modern age is that technology is inevitable, that we are just passengers on a train hurtling toward the future. We are not passengers, we are the engineers. The American experiment was never a static thing. It was always an experiment. That means it can fail, but it also means it can be modified. We need to patch the software. How do we do that? 1. We need a digital bill of rights. Version 1 protected your physical home from being searched. Version 2 must protect your digital mind from being hacked. We need to declare that your data belongs to you, that your attention belongs to you. 2. We need to slow down the processor. We need to introduce friction back into the system. We need to create spaces, schools, dinner tables, town halls, where phones are off and algorithms are banned. We need to remember how to think at the speed of a human, not a bot. 3. We need to update the user. That means you. You are running two software on one biological hardware. Your brain is not evolved for this. You need to upgrade your own operating system. You need to learn media literacy. You need to learn emotional regulation. You need to learn how to resist the dopamine hit. You are the glitch. In a system designed to conform, the most rebellious thing you can do is to be human. To be unpredictable. To be kind when the algorithm says be cruel. To be slow when the system says be fast. The American Experiment version 2 will not be written in Washington, D.C. It will be written in your living room. It will be written in the choices you make when you unlock your phone. The blue screen of death is scary. It looks like the end. But if you hold the power button down, if you take a deep breath, and if you reboot, you get a fresh screen. You get a chance to install something better. We are the transition team. It is a heavy burden, but it is also a magnificent opportunity. We get to decide if version 2 is a virus or a cure. So put your hands on the keyboard and start typing. If this look into the future of our society sparked a new thought in your mind, if it made you feel less alone in the chaos, please hit that like button. It helps us find other developers for the new world. And share this with someone who thinks the world is ending. Tell them it's not the end, it's just an update. Hit subscribe. We are going to keep debugging the system, one video at a time. Let me know in the comments. If you could add one feature to American Democracy version 2, what would it be? I'll see you after the reboot.